All right, let's do this. Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to one of the beautiful Friday smokeouts. I still need to come up with a better name. Hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. This is being filmed Christmas night after all the fun and excitement at our house. I wasn't going to do a smokeout video, but one, I do have a couple actually extra, which is very, very nice. It is kind of the holiday season. You're supposed to take a break. Truth be told, I knew I was going to be having a cigar anyway to kind of celebrate the season, and figured it was probably pretty suiting. As I'm out here, I can kind of just talk to myself and record it. So, greetings, welcome. This video will be an extra one. Like I said, I'll probably get this one out actually the next couple of days and then go back to my regular posting schedule. For tonight, a fun little cigar here. Let's see if we can get that on camera. Little snowman. It's from Room 101, and it's called Miami Snow. A fun little cigar. Definitely the festive Christmas type season. Beautiful, beautiful draft on this cigar. This is very smooth, very easy to smoke. Flavor's a bit sharp. Bit of acid going on in there, but not bad. For the beer tonight, I found Abita Brewing, and they have the Christmas Ale. I do enjoy an ale every now and then. I couldn't resist with the Santa Claus there and the being towed by alligators. I figured I better break down and get myself some sort of Christmas themed beer for the smoke out tonight. Let's pour this up. Ooh, it's a dark ale. That actually is a nice red. That was unexpected. I was expecting this one to be more of a blondie, but no. Look at that. Nice red color. Good head on it, actually. Give her a little try here. Well, that is almost an IPA. That is hoppy. Very, very hoppy. Not bad. I'm going to drink it. I'm going to enjoy it. But that's probably one I'm not going to get again. I'm not a huge fan of the overly hopped up beers. There's a lot more ingredients and flavors you can put in beer besides hops. So probably unsurprising. As I said, I'm trying to keep some topics to these videos. Gonna do a nice little Christmas. Let's talk about Christmas. How was yours? Mine, of course, was wonderful. I do enjoy the Christmas season. And it's usually the idea of Christmas that I really enjoy. And the memory of Christmas past. Because, of course, during Christmas, as is with most families and whatnot, it's stressful. You don't want to yell at your kids, but yet you don't want to let them misbehave. They're sugared up. They're tired. They've got new toys. They do want to share. They don't want to share. And they're on your case to put batteries or put something together all day long. And as I've said before, I've got 6 kids, so it is all day. But I do thoroughly enjoy it. Sitting here relaxing. Yep, there were some rough patches. Definitely more than once Dad had to raise his voice so that I could be heard and correct certain behaviors that needed to be corrected. But truthfully, it was a good time. Christmas for me has always had this ebb and flow. When I was younger, Christmas was very, what's the word? Expected. Very pushed in our house. Christmas was my mom's holiday. She did all the Christmas around the world decorations. We decorated the house from top to bottom, put up hundreds and hundreds of lights, always went out, chopped down a tree. It was a big deal for my mom. Kind of her rule was no one was allowed to work on Christmas. Christmas Eve, even the day after sometimes. Those were big no work holidays. You had to be home, you had to be with your family. My sisters would make a point of always coming up, no matter how far they lived away, they'd drive the 10, 12 hours to come home for Christmas. Unfortunately, for me and working on the ambulance, Christmas became, I don't want to say another day, but it was a day you could reschedule. If you had kids, you could tell them Santa Claus comes on the 26th. There was an email address out there for the longest time. You could email Santa if your parent worked as a firefighter, paramedic, EMT, law enforcement, and you could get Christmas rescheduled. Santa had some backup days. Usually you'd come on the 24th or 26th. You just had to let them know in email. So we used to send emails out when my kids were young. Very much made my mom extremely angry because I'd work on the actual day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. People still got hurt, people still got sick, and truthfully, they got sick and hurt a lot more on Christmas. I got to see the darker side of the holiday. People who became suicidal, became depressed, loneliness. Pure loneliness is really what I associated Christmas with for a very long time. I ran into extremely lonely people while working on the ambulance. People joke about, well, so-and-so just calls the ambulance because they want company. It's not a joke. I had many people who called saying they were going to die. You get there and they're pouring you coffee and seeing if you want some store-bought and baked goods, and they're giving you a list of symptoms, but they don't, well, maybe I do want to go in, maybe I don't want to go in. It really did take me a little bit to learn how to kind of pivot and shift and offer them some comfort, some company for a little bit. And a lot of times it was. They'd admit they called because they're lonely. They wanted noise. They wanted people around them. Now, granted, if they did have something going on, we'd definitely transport them. But it really is, for a holiday, about family and about getting together. True loneliness is on Christmas. That's what I've seen. Very depressed, very lonely people. I've had my fair share of suicides, attempted suicides, homicides, attempted homicides happen around Christmas. There was one particular winter. We referred it as the Black Winter, Dark Winter. I had 6 people attempt suicides by shooting themselves in the head. Pretty much the week before and about a week or two after Christmas. So about a 2-week period there, right around the holidays. We had a lot of people who were being very serious about committing suicide, and it was bizarre to have this shift from what I grew up about how Christmas was this sacred holiday to, I still definitely celebrate and believe for the true reason, the birth of Jesus and the significance it has to my religion and my church and my faith even. But the actual day of it really did change. And it's interesting when you look at stuff like that. So after I got off the ambulance full time, it was odd to finally prepare for that day. To know I was going to be home, to have the day off, guaranteed off. It was in my contract. I was going to have Christmas off, guaranteed. It was bizarre, though, to have a guaranteed day, a known day off, where you knew you were going to be off. When I got off the ambulance, that was one of the hardest things I had to adjust to. Were guaranteed days off. I'd never had those before. And Christmas was the first holiday after I got the rig that I did have that guaranteed day off. I was guaranteed to be with my family, not be called in, not have to deal with a suicidal person or someone having an anxiety attack or a family feud. So my idea, my thoughts around Christmas, the actual day, because again, the holiday's always been there. We always celebrated it. We've always celebrated the birth of Jesus, celebrated Santa coming. That never got diminished. It always was on a different day. Whether it was on the 24th, the 23rd, the 26th, the 27th, the day would fluctuate, but the meaning, the celebration was there. Finally, after I got the ambulance, I could put some onus into the day. The significance of it. On around the 21st, 22nd, you have one of the shortest days of the year. The winter solstice. And I started to view, well, just a day or two later, you have Christmas, which, it celebrates. Days are getting longer. We can celebrate that. You can actually tell Christmas Eve, it's a little bit brighter. Christmas morning, the sun comes up a little bit quicker. So it was something to look forward to, having that change of the season, days getting longer. Up here, it's not exactly the halfway point of winter, but it might as well be. Might as well mark something that winter, you're going to survive winter, you're going to make it through. Now, I say that with a little tongue-in-cheek response because January and February will be some of the coldest, biggest snowstorm months you'll ever have. But you got to have a milestone somewhere, right? So I did. I started actually looking forward to it. I haven't missed a Christmas. Now, the actual physical day, the 25th of December, I haven't missed that. I've been home for them. We still very much have the meaning of the day, which I'm grateful that I actually missed the actual day so much when we were a younger married couple. Because it wasn't about the date. It really did make sure if we were going to celebrate, we were celebrating the meaning of Christmas, the reason for Christmas, the joyous relief that the Savior was born, the jubilant celebration of Santa coming and giving gifts and receiving gifts and expecting happiness during a time period, winter, when there's usually death. Things are dead. They've gone dormant. You can't grow gardens. You can't have crops. Animals are starting to die off or migrate away. You started thinking about that, how, it's a celebration of life in the middle of death. And that's interesting. That's an interesting idea, that we can celebrate something so joyous, and yet it's surrounded by so much darkness. Literal darkness, it's darker this time of year, and metaphorical. There's dead animals, dead plants. Things are freezing. There is no real signs of life. There was an interesting short sci-fi story that I had the pleasure of reading, where a guy talks about aliens coming to Earth and landing in the middle of winter and believing that it was this desolate wasteland. That maybe this planet was outside the Goldilocks zone and there was no life anymore. And then the next wave of aliens came in to come and try and terraform and make a living on Earth, and it's summer. And they can't believe that there's so much life and vibrancy and how drastically everything's changed, because on their home planet, it's the same season. There is no tilting of the axis, so it's the same season all year round. It was a neat story, hearing about the anxiety these otherworldly, these aliens had in knowing that stuff would shift so drastically. We really are in the season, the change in the seasons. Really, we're faced with that metaphorical cycle of life every year. Right now, we're in the death. Everything's finished. It's over with. But here soon, we have rebirth come spring. Things grow anew. And it's interesting, because especially living up here in the UP, that growing season is this vigorous activity of sprinting, racing towards a finish because you understand that it's so finite. I have many friends and family who live throughout the United States, some of them in very, very mild, very nice climates, where if you wanted to plant a garden, you could do it kind of whenever. Maybe you end up planting more cabbage because, it's going to be colder, more cold hardy plants. But by and large, you can be a little laxed about when you put in your garden and when you start growing your fruits and vegetables, and be a little more selective of the variety you're going to plant. Up here in the UP, we don't have that luxury. There's a very narrow window. If you plant stuff too soon, you have frosts, you have late snowstorms that kill off your garden. And then sometimes you have to start over again. Too late and nothing will grow. You'll not bring in the harvest before the hard frosts and winters hit. So it's a feverish pace that you need to keep up. And it's very metaphorical to how we should live. We will not live forever. Shocker. I know some of you guys might not have known this. You won't live forever. You will die. But yet a lot of us live our lives as if we will, as if we are going to have that growing season 365 days a year, when it should be a vigorous movement forward for a purpose of life, to go and accomplish as much as we can, get as much fruits of our labor, to do the most good that we can do in the shortest amount of time. And again, that's why I like Christmas. It's that reminder. Even though things are dying off, we're hopeful of what's to come. We're getting ready. We're celebrating. Because we know soon there will be that rebirth, that chance to come anew when spring hits, to really drive forward and make a difference. Or maybe we're celebrating what we did do. The last season, things went great. We got a lot of accomplished. We did a lot. We're going to do a lot. So it's interesting. I've started to look, the older I get, more at the timing of events, the actual day of them. That's one thing that definitely got lost on the ambulance. The significance of the date. Because again, it was a wonderful thing. We would tell our kids we'd reschedule an event, whether that was Christmas or New Year's or birthdays or Easter, which again allowed us to more focus on the actual meaning of the holiday, which was great. I think everyone should do that. Focus in on the actual meaning of the holiday. I hear so many people, especially around Thanksgiving, don't go Black Friday shopping. Let those people stay home and be with their families. Again, from working on the ambulance, I don't get that. I worked on the ambulance. I was away from my family. I had a job to do. That didn't lessen the holiday, because we understood the true meaning of it. It wasn't the fact that it landed on a day. It was the fact that we would celebrate that idea, those values. As far as Thanksgiving goes, we would celebrate being thankful for what we had, bringing in the harvest, being with friends and family, and having a meal of celebration. Just like Christmas, just like Easter, the idea is actually there. So yes, if I had to go back to working on the ambulance, I wouldn't mind working on the day. On Christmas Day, on New Year's Day, on the 4th of July, on Thanksgiving Day. Like I've said many times, I've worked many, many Thanksgivings. Because that's a date. And it has its importance, it has its significance. That's a big part of what I talked about tonight. But it's more about the idea. Why do we do this? Is it because on the 24th or 25th of December, we should all honor that date on the calendar? No. It's for those religious reasons, for those personal reasons, for those superficial reasons even. And that's why we should appreciate it more. I think a lot of people would do better if they viewed it, instead of as a date, as the significance behind it. Now, granted, like I've said tonight, though, really focusing in on that date, it has meaning, it has significance, which is kind of fun to dive into. And as you probably hear, I'm really overthinking all of these points, but it's kind of fun to do that deep dive and look further into it. So anyway, I am going to go and finish my Miami Snow. Nice cigar. It is actually quite tasty, and I'm going right through it, so you know it must be good. I'm not putting it down as much as I have other cigars. Hope you guys had, again, a wonderful Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone. I will be posting this video again pretty soon. I'll probably get it out tomorrow even. I've started to streamline a lot of my editing, getting much, much better at it. I am looking at branching out, doing some other stuff with this, as I've mentioned in some other videos, doing some more how-tos. I'm doing some short movies. Just kind of have some fun with it again. Hopefully this coming year I'll be able to get this out of the experimental series. If not, I'm having fun with it, and that's all I really started this. So again, hope you're all doing well. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon.